Well, good afternoon it is here, and I don't know what time you'll be listening to it there, but probably more than likely afternoon. This is Charles Fowler talking about Physical Science 111. Those of you who were in class for our first meeting time, we were not sure if the class was going to make because we're only, what was it, 4 students there. But 5 had paid. The one paid student wasn't there. 4 had not paid. We thought it was going to make with 9 students, but with 4 unpaid students, we weren't sure. And the class wanted to not have class today. This is Thursday the 25th, if we weren't going to continue with the class. So I tried to call all the missing students, and I couldn't get in touch with any of them. Left messages for 3 out of the 4. The other one I couldn't even get through to leave a message. So we wound up with still not knowing what we were going to do. So the students said, let's just go on and cancel the class. So I did that, and then later found out that one of the students thought he could pick up another science class this summer, and found out nothing was available that wouldn't conflict with something in his schedule. So that he did need the class this summer, and they had told us if we had anything that somebody absolutely needed the class to make it, for their load, it was okay to keep the class. So we're back on. But because we didn't meet today, we didn't talk about the syllabus, we didn't talk about research paper, we didn't talk about safety, we didn't talk about my locator card, didn't talk about anything. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm going to try to do this as quickly as possible so we won't have to go through all this when we get to Tuesday, because Tuesday I'd rather get going. In fact, I had hoped we would get going on physical science today. Well, this is the syllabus. Hopefully I've got all the corrections made. It is summer term 2017, Physical Science 111, Physical Science 1. I'm going to have to pause. The phone's ringing. All right, sorry, I had a phone call come in, something I had to help somebody with. So anyway, back to this. It's Physical Science 111, Physical Science 1, a 4 credit hour course, 3 theory hours, 1 lab credit hour, but a total of 5 contact hours on an 16-week term. But since this is a 10-week term, the number of weekly contact hours has to go up so we can get the same number of contact hours in that we would on a 16-week term. So we actually are together more than 3 hours for credit and 5 contact hours total. It's more like 6. 4 hours for theory credit and 5.5. 6.5 total, because it's hour. I'm sorry. I'm thinking right. 7 total. Okay. The class meeting days and times are Tuesday, Thursday from 12 to 1:50 in room A255 where we met today. And the laboratory will be Tuesday, Thursday, 2 to 3:30, and it'll also be most of the time in 255. There will be a few labs we do in a computer lab. There'll be one lab at least we'll do in a computer lab. There'll be another one we'll do as a wet lab, and we'll go down probably to 259 and do that one. So we'll move around a little bit, but most of our labs will be in 255. All right. Instructor name, I'm Charles Fowler. We met today, but those of you who weren't there, I'm still Charles Fowler. Lists offices on both campuses. However, I'll explain this in a second. On the Bessemer campus, my office is in the A building in room A265. If you go out of the classroom 255, take a left, go down half a flight of stairs, and continue almost to the end of that hall. The last office on the left is 265. It's in between. The very last door on the left is a stairwell, and then my office door, and then there's a mechanical room door, a big double door like there is right outside the classroom. I'm in between the mechanical room and the stairwell. Okay? Now, on the Birmingham campus, I do have an office over there, academic building, that's B122. That's not my office. That's Dr. Pruitt's suite of offices, okay? And he has a big corner office. The secretary has the lobby type area. There's a workroom on one side, and there's a copy room behind the secretary's desk. That's where I stay on Fridays when we have Fridays. Okay, now let me explain something. During the summer, we don't. Okay, a few summers ago, when the energy prices really shot up, everything got very expensive. We were trying to see how we could save some money, and there were several factors involved, but we experimented with, because we had very low enrollment on Friday classes in the summer and on weekend classes in the summer. In fall and spring terms, we have Friday classes, we have weekend classes. In the summer, they're very, very poorly attended. Most of the time they got canceled. We only usually have 1 or 2 courses, 2 or 3 courses that would be left. And if you cool this big old building, that's a leaky old building, cooling it for 2 or 3 classes, and that's all, that just wasn't very economically feasible. So what we decided to do was not have Friday or Saturday classes anymore in the summertime. And so everything is Monday through Thursday. So we instructors work 40-hour work week in 4 days, which would average 10 hours a day. But for instance, right now my Monday, Wednesday is 13.25 hours, so my Tuesday and Thursday is more like 8 hours or something like that. I mean, that's not quite right, but something similar to that. So I'm not here 10 hours each day. I'm here long on Monday, Wednesday, and shorter on Tuesday, Thursday. Still working more than 40 hours, but it's the only way I can do it. Okay? We'll see that when we get to the locator card. Now, how do you contact me? You can call by phone on the Bessemer campus, A265. That's 929-3449. Okay? On the Birmingham campus, and that's what I was just talking about. Let me go back to that. Sorry about that. My stream of consciousness is not very good here. We go to the 4-day work week only the months of June and July. So that means this month, May, as in tomorrow, I'm on the Birmingham campus. Okay? I wasn't sure about the following Friday, even though it is in June, but it's the first Friday in June, and I wasn't sure if they were going to have us work that day because we have Memorial Day off, but evidently they're not doing that. So I saw in an email today. So therefore, this Friday tomorrow is the only Friday I'm going to be on Birmingham campus until August. Now, August we have final exams. The last day of class is Monday, the 31st of July. And then finals are Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of August. And because that's not, we do work on Friday, that first Friday in August. So the last Friday in May, tomorrow, and the first Friday in August, I think it's the, 4th or something like that, I will be on the Birmingham campus, okay? And my office there, I just described where it is, and my phone number there is 929-6409. Now, my email address is cfowler@lawsonstate.edu. Okay, so let me back up just to get a moment again. Sorry, this is not very regular. My number here on Bessemer, 929-3449. My wife tried calling me several times yesterday, but that was a Wednesday, and I was in class almost all day long. She never could get me, and she told me, your voicemail isn't working. She said it just would ring and ring and ring and never turn over to the voicemail. So if that is indeed the case, which I assume she's right on that, then you can't leave me a voicemail. So call by phone, and let me phrase it this way, during my office hours. Now, you'll see those next, okay? If you call me during class hours, you're not going to get me because I'll be in class, and you won't be able to leave a message. So don't even bother, okay? Call me during office hours. Now, if I happen not to be in the office, wait a few minutes and call again. I'll be in and out some because, I have to take students here, deliver papers here, something like that. But I'm generally in the office during office hours. So, now on the Birmingham campus, the 929-6409 number, don't leave me a message there. It does have voicemail, but that's not my normal number. If you listen to the voicemail, it's somebody else, because that person, I think she's a lab coordinator, and she uses that office Monday through Thursday. She doesn't work on Fridays, or that's my understanding anyway, so therefore she's not there on Friday. That's why I use the office that day. So don't leave me a message there. You'll be leaving it for her, not for me. I don't have any way to access her messages, so don't leave a message, even though that one does have working voicemail. I assume it does anyway, so don't leave me a message at the 6409 number. Email, right now I'm way behind on emails, but I hope to catch up as the term goes on. I don't know if I'll make that, but that's my hope. So let's talk about my office hours. On Mondays and Wednesdays, I've already sort of described to you, well, maybe I haven't. My other classes I've described, so let me go over it with you. On Monday and Wednesday, I have an 8 o'clock class. It's a calculus class that goes until 10:40. So basically, I have, quote, office hours from 10:45 to 11 o'clock, 15 minutes. Yesterday, Wednesday, I didn't even get down to my office, but just for a couple of minutes in that time, because I had students trying to, having questions, for faculty members having questions. I hardly got down to my office at all. Hopefully, as the term moves on, I'll be able to get down for at least part of that 15 minutes, because that's the only time I have to start lunch. Okay. Then I have another calculus class. Calculus 2 goes from 11 o'clock till 1:40. So then I have another 20-minute period. I list it here as 1:45 to 2 because it's going to take me about 5 minutes to get out of the classroom and down here to the office, and things. So 1:45 to 2 is my second 15 or 20-minute bit of office hours, and that's when I hope to finish lunch. But you can still come in then. Now, later in the day at 2 o'clock, I start a physics class. It goes 2 to 3:50, and I have a 10-minute break there, but I don't usually get down to my office. That's when I set up my lab, and then the lab goes from, 2 to 3:50, 4 to 5:30. And then right at 5:30, my next physics class starts, 5:30 to 7:20. Another 10-minute break to set up the lab, but I'm usually not back in the office then unless I have to pick up something or something like that, and that's only for a minute or two at the most. Then the lab goes from 7:30 until 9. And then at 9 o'clock, I'm back in the office, just time enough to get my stuff packed up and get out of here. Okay, so that's all on the Bessemer campus. Okay, that's all on Monday, Wednesday. Let's talk about Tuesday, Thursday. Tuesday, Thursday morning, 8 o'clock, I have a math class. Math 2 is differential equations. It goes from 8 to 9:50. So I give myself 10 minutes to answer questions, that kind of stuff, and get down here to the office. And so I have office hours from 10 till 12, 2 hours. Now, when you look at my locator card later, you'll see one of those hours is my lunch hour, but you can still come see me during the lunch hour. I eat in my office. I usually bring my lunch. Most of the time I'm here. Now, occasionally I might have to buy lunch in the cafeteria, so that'll be part of that 11 to 12. So if I'm not in the office, I'll be back real soon. Now, Fridays, and remember there's only 2 Fridays this summer that I'll be on campus. That's tomorrow, the last Friday in May, and the first Friday in August. I'm there from 7:45 until 11:45. Probably will be there longer, but officially those are my office hours. Course description. This was not something I came up with or anyone here at the college came up with. It was a committee that got together from the 2-year college system and the public 4-year schools, colleges, and universities here in Alabama. And they decided if we follow this description, they will give you credit for this course. This course provides the non-technical student with an introduction to the basic principles of geology, oceanography, meteorology, and astronomy. A laboratory is required. Now, I'll tell you how those break down in just a minute. We'll see that in more detail later. Prerequisite for the course, as required by program that says, there's really not any major one. Generally, you'll need a little bit of math, but if you have math at the 098 level or so, that's adequate. So we don't put that as a prerequisite. No co-requisite. So let's talk about textbooks now. Okay. Sorry, it scrolled too far. Okay, here we go. Textbooks and other learning resources. The text is Tillery, Bill Tillery, Physical Science. It's now the 11th edition. They do have this text in the bookstore. If you have an older edition that you bought from somebody else, you found online or something like that, perfectly fine to use it. There's been hardly any change for several edition changes. So don't worry about it. If you have an older edition, it'll be fine. The page numbers will be different a little bit, not far off, but a little bit. But the content is basically almost the same. The current one is a 2017 edition, so it's brand new or fairly new, so it should be good for another 2 or 3 years, maybe 4. Students are expected to bring the textbooks, paper, and pencil to class each meeting. We will be working problems in the class, not very many, but we will be doing labs in the class, so bring that. Calculators are permitted, and I would say encouraged. You're not going to need them a lot, but there will be a few times that we will need. Like that wet lab, you definitely will need a calculator then. Now this next paragraph here is required in every syllabus, and they do not allow us to change it. It needs to be changed pretty badly, and I'll explain what I mean. All Austin State Community College students must be trained in Blackboard and use Blackboard daily to gain access to vital course information such as the syllabus, and I know you will be reading the syllabus every day, won't you? Not really. I'm making fun of it. You'll read the syllabus and look it up things only when you need it, okay? Handouts. Most of the time, if you need a handout, and I'll have plenty for labs and stuff, I will hand them out to you. I will not put them on Blackboard generally. PowerPoint shows. Now, yes, that will be on Blackboard. It's not there yet, okay, but it will be there. And I put those, and by the way, I put everything under content. When you go to Blackboard in this course, in the home page, you'll have a block in the upper left corner. And in that block are several, on the instructor side, they're blue tabs. I assume that's the same on the student side. And on those blue tabs, like the second or third one, is usually content, or at least it is on the instructor side. So find the content tab, click on it, okay? Now right now, there's nothing there, so don't get panicky. But as soon as I can, okay, I'm going to put the syllabus in that content. I'll put the research paper instructions under that content. I will put my locator card in that content. I'm going to try to go over all those today. I may not have time. I'm really running out of time now. It's already close to 4:30, but I'll try to get this done anyway. And I will put the PowerPoints. Now, actually the PowerPoints I'm going to put there are PowerPoints from 2 editions ago, I think they are now, and I can't find any difference in what they use now. These are on the CD or DVD, and the others are, the more current ones are online somewhere, and it's so much easier to use a CD or DVD. So unless I find some major differences, I'll use these. So I'll put those on Blackboard under content as well. Those are static. You just see what's there. You can print them out ahead of time, take notes on them if you want to, however you want to use them. There are also, the PowerPoint shows will be on Blackboard in another way. That's under, okay, let me back off just a little bit here and explain. I record every class, or at least I try to. And I'll show you the icon right here because you happen to see it right there at the bottom here. This is Screencast-O-Matic. Right now, I'm recording this class. Right here is how long I've been talking, okay? So this is recording it. As soon as I finish this, then I will start the process of uploading it to YouTube. And then once it's on YouTube, I will move it into the Physical Science 111, what do they call it? Oh, goodness, they have a name for it. It's like a folder, but there's something else they call it. I'm going blank on the term right now. Sorry about that. But it's like a folder, okay, for Physical Science 111. I can almost get it out, but I can't quite. So I'll put it there, and then I'll put the link to that site in Blackboard. Now, that means that all the PowerPoints that I go over in class, and actually for those, you'll hear me talking, because Screencast-O-Matic records everything that's projected on the board. Now, nothing's being projected now, but on my computer screen. And everything I say in sync. So therefore, it will save that to YouTube, and then you'll be able to see and hear everything that went on in class. Almost everything. You won't see me point or wave my arms and stuff, because I'm not included in that. It's just what's on my screen being projected onto the board. Now, I do have a tablet PC, and I have an ionizing pen, and I will work problems there. I will put notes there. I will draw pictures there when we're doing labs. You know, we'll do a variety of things using that feature of this. All that will be projected. All that will be saved on Screencast-O-Matic, and therefore saved on YouTube. So I will put the link to that YouTube, I'm going to say folder again. That's not what they call it. Wish I could remember what YouTube calls it. But that's where that link will be there. Now, there will be a few other things. There's the syllabus, research paper instructions, locator card, all the PowerPoints, your YouTube link. Also, in this course, over the years, I had a student sometime a long time ago found some 10 really incredible pictures that were taken by the Hubble Space Telescope. We haven't talked about that yet. We will be talking about it in class. So I have put those 10 pictures, beautiful pictures taken by the Hubble Space Telescope. Goodness, my brain's going dead now. I just said the word telescope that's out there in space. And those pictures are out there, or will be. They're not there yet. I'll post those. Also, either the same or a different student sent me a little thing called Space Objects in Perspective. And it really gives a pretty good description of the relative sizes of, say, the moon, the Earth, the other planets, maybe some of the other moons of other planets, the sun, other stars, the galaxy. I mean, it's an incredible, incredible visual tool to help you get everything in perspective. Okay? So that will be out there. Now, if there are other sites, I can't remember right now if there are or not, that students have sent to me like those, or have they written a paper on and I found very useful and stuff. I can't recall now if there are any others. If there are some, I'll put those on Blackboard too under content. So Blackboard content will have quite a bit of stuff in it. Right now it has 0, but soon it will have at least parts of that, and I'll try to get all that done. Okay. So there's PowerPoint shows. I got off on more than that. Activities, sometimes the school publishes activities and puts them on Blackboard. We will have a couple of things, hopefully, that to do. I usually try to arrange for this class to take 1 or 2 field trips. So when I get information about that, typically I put those activities on Blackboard. So I'll talk about it in class and let you know to be watching for it, and as soon as I get the information, I'll try to post it on Blackboard. Most classes I don't do that. This one does have 1 or 2 field trips possible. We may not be able to schedule either one of them, but hopefully we will. Assignments. I've already said I'm going to put your research paper assignment on Blackboard. It's going to be there under content. Other assignments I will typically make when I'm presenting material in class. Okay, especially at the end of a chapter, I'll say, okay, here are some questions, here are some concepts, here are some summary, here are a variety of things that you might use as learning tools, and I will describe all those on Screencast-O-Matic, which will have been transferred to YouTube. So you'll have to, if you're not in class to hear those, or even if you are in class and want to refresh or catch them again, go to YouTube, and then you just have to look for them there to find out where they're located. Okay? I'm not going to type out, here's your assignment, but it's all there on Blackboard, but it's under YouTube link. Okay? Announcements. Sometimes the school makes announcements and puts them on Blackboard. If so, read them there. Most of the time, I'm not going to have any announcements to do, except it may be about, in fact, basically the activity things are announcements. If I find out information about a field trip that I wasn't able to get to in class, I'll put that under an announcement. Okay? Now, let me say this, and I'll tell you this plenty in advance, but there is potential for change. Right now, I am almost certain, I know for a fact, I do have a doctor's appointment that will be some Tuesday in June, okay? Probably the 3rd or 4th Tuesday in June. I know that because, and I have, most of my students know this, I have a mild form of leukemia. So I take a treatment about every other month, okay? Every 2 months I have a treatment. And sometime then, either before or after, sometime in 2 or 3 months, every 2 or 3 months, I go to see my hematologist to see how things are going. He only sees patients on Tuesday mornings. Well, you might say, well, that shouldn't bother this class any because we meet on Tuesday afternoon. But the latest time he sees patients are at 11:45. That's his last appointment. Well, if he assigns me an appointment at 11:45, I'll be at Kirkland Clinic at 11:45. He probably won't finish seeing me until, say, 12:15 or 12:30, and then I've still got to drive back to campus. So yes, it potentially will affect this class. It won't cancel the class, but it may delay the start time. So watch for that. I will let you know as soon as I know when that appointment is, both what day and what time, and I'll let you know whether it affects our class or not, and if so, when the class will be starting. We will have class that day. It'll just start a little later. And what we might do, if you can, I'll just extend the class a little bit longer so you don't lose any more class time because of my doctor's appointment. Now, that's one thing I know is going to happen. I just don't know the day. I don't know the time. Here's another thing that, from what I understand, has a good chance of happening. The last week or so we were here of spring term, I received an email from somebody working with National Science Foundation inviting me and a team from Lawson to attend a meeting that has good potential for stuff that we do here. So I forwarded that message on to my chain of command, Dr. Pruitt, Dr. Davis, and Dr. Crawford, the Vice President for Academic Affairs, and said, this sounds like something I'd be interested in participating in. They gave us 3 choices. I've got a phone call, got to pause. I'm sorry, that last phone call took a long time to deal with what the request was. And if I'm remembering where we left off, I was talking about Blackboard. I think I talked about announcements, then grades. As soon as you get something turned in to me, I will try to get it graded that afternoon. No promise. Sometimes it might be the weekend before I get it done. But the only time I have office hours you're going to see later is Tuesday, Thursday from 10 to 12. You know, that's the only big chunk of office hours I have. I'm going to use Tuesday and Thursday afternoons after class to try to get a lot of things done, but I don't know if I'll get everything done then. Now, when July gets here, it's going to be even worse because they're going to get a big push for fall pre-registration, and I am listed as the advisor for something like 450 students the last time I checked. Maybe it's fewer now, I don't know. But not all of them come see me. Most of them register online, but a lot do come see me. And also people who have problems, or maybe they're advisors on the Birmingham campus and I'm here, I wound up registering or advising them as well. So I will slow down on grading probably then. I'll probably have to take the weekend to get the grades put in Blackboard. The next sentence in here, failure to use Blackboard to severely damage your ability to pass the course, I find that such a negative statement. If they let me change it, which they don't, I would say the proper use of Blackboard could greatly enhance your ability to do well in the course. I think that's more accurate and closer to the point, and a lot more positive. It says, see schedule book. There is no schedule book. We haven't had schedule book in years, and yet they still have that sentence in here, and don't let us take it out. And then this next sentence, students should always check Blackboard announcement page prior to coming to class. Why would they say that? Unless it's comma in case the instructor is canceling class that day. And let me tell you, typically I will not cancel a class unless I absolutely have to. And if I have to, most of the time I'm going to know about it way in advance. So I'm not always going to put it on the Blackboard announcement page. You will have had lots of opportunity to hear about it. But if something emergency does come up right before class, there's a real good chance I'm not going to have a chance to put it on Blackboard. So I just sort of resent that thing. But most of the time I don't. I can remember one year I got called up for jury duty, and I didn't have a chance to tell the class that ahead of time, so I had to put that on Blackboard. But it's very rare that happens. I think what I'm going to do is stop now, and I'll pick up and go with this again probably tomorrow, and pick up with course student learning outcomes then. So sorry about having to stop, but it's gotten so late I need to head out. Thanks. I'll continue this later.